to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's video, we'll be walking you through the next 7 to 10 days of your weather forecast to show you what you can expect over that time frame. But before we do, if you are new to the channel and have not yet subscribed and like detailed weather breakdowns across North America and the tropics, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. It's absolutely free to do, and also help out in pressing the like button. It's the thumbs up button down below the video. It helps to get all this information passed along to more and more people. And I would love to hit 55,000 subscribers by the end of this month, so you can help by doing so for subscribing. Now, looking here at the weather, we do have freeze warnings extending up and down the East Coast across portions of the Delmarva region and the Mid-Atlantic coast there, all the way down through portions of the Carolinas, Georgia, back through the majority of the state there of Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and then back into East Central Texas. So a widespread area of freeze warnings this morning, and those temperatures in those freeze warnings are a good 10 to 20 degrees below normal of what they should be at this time this year. So definitely seeing some colder weather out there across the eastern United States. You can see where the warmer temperatures are though this morning, and that is up across the West Coast and the Pacific Northwest. That's where we see those temperatures 5, 10, even 20 degrees above the norm for this time of year out there. But looking at the freezing line this morning, it has finally made its way down across portions of the eastern Carolinas into southern Georgia and near the Gulf Coast. We're down to 32 degrees in Atlanta, Georgia there, 28 in Nashville, and even closing in on 32 degrees in the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina region as of this morning. So it's definitely cooled off for the majority of the country, and everywhere in blue here that you see, we're at least 32 degrees Fahrenheit or colder. So that freezing line is definitely making itself known this morning. Looking at the visible imagery for what we see for precipitation here, the only game in town is really the Pacific Northwest, where we have the active rainfall in those lower elevations and then some higher elevation snows across British Columbia, getting in toward portions of Alberta and up there into the Pacific Northwest in those higher elevations where it's cold enough to snow. But other than that, we're not really seeing too much. High pressure is in control, and that is counting on us to clear out, and we're going to start to see a lot of these cooler nights moving forward, but we will start to moderate those temperatures over the next few days as well. But let's take a look here at the precipitation map for the Pacific Northwest, because it will be a wet go of it with some rainfall, some snow showers out there today. You can see across Washington State, Oregon, Northwest California, over into Idaho, into Montana, and northwestern Wyoming. That's where majority of the precipitation will reside through the day today. And as we go into tonight as well, it's kind of getting a little bit more widely scattered with the precipitation, kind of weakening out as we go deeper into the night tonight. And then as we go into Friday, we'll really start to dry out and give us a break across those areas before a new storm system that you see working its way onto the screen will be approaching for Friday night into Saturday across the Pacific Northwest for Washington State, Oregon, and Northern California. But just totaling up the precipitation between now and this upcoming Saturday on November 4th, we will be seeing some decent rains across the Pacific Northwest, especially near the coastal areas of Seattle, down there toward the Portland area, and even portions of northwestern coastal California. We could be seeing widespread 1 to 3 inches of rainfall, but some of that could be spreading inland as well into portions of the eastern side of Washington State, eastern Oregon through Idaho, western and central Montana, and then getting into northwestern Wyoming with some of that rainfall out there as well. And looking at the drought, that's not a bad thing, because we are seeing that moderate, severe, and even extreme drought up there in the northwestern portions of Washington State. So we do need the rainfall, we do need the precipitation out there, so that is some good news that we are getting it, and that will go a long way in helping out improving some drought conditions out there. We do need the rainfall though in the middle of the country. We still have that widespread drought ongoing across portions of the heartland, so we need that rainfall and moisture there. Hopefully we can get some down the road, but right now it is pretty quiet out there. And just looking forward to the total snowfall accumulation, we don't have a lot of really cold air down in the lower elevations to get a lot of that big snow that we saw recently with a couple of those snowstorms to the north, but we we do have the colder air as you go up in elevation, and that's where we could see a few to several inches of accumulation, especially right there into northwestern Wyoming with those higher elevations. As you go up there, could be dealing with a few to several inches of snow, probably upwards of about 6 inches. But outside of that, we're just really not seeing a lot of that cold air in place with the snowfall out there. So not really seeing much of that. And looking at that this weekend, that warmer air, warmer than normal, will be pushing eastward. So not only will it be out west, it's going to continue to spread eastward. So the Great Plains, the Midwest, and even the Ohio Valley, parts of the southeast that are real cold this morning, will be warming up slightly above average as we go into this weekend for our high and low temperatures. And then as we go into early next week, it really starts to get warm as we see those 20 to even 30 degree above normal high and low temperatures working in, especially centered down here across Texas and Oklahoma. So we really start to warm up as we go into early next week. And just previewing that here, let's start on the weekend. This is on Saturday, November 4th. Here are your high temperatures to the north. Can't complain about this in early November. 40s and 50s for the highs, even across portions of Chicago, back toward Des Moines, Omaha, and then up there toward Rapid City at 60 degrees on November 4th. Nothing to complain about there, and we'll have 70s and 80s further down to the south. Copy and paste that to Sunday. We have basically the exact same temperatures in the exact same areas as we go into Sunday, November 5th. And as we go into Monday, basically the same thing. We cool off a little bit up there toward the Dakotas, back to 50 degrees in Rapid City. But hey, it's November 6th. We'll take it this time of year, and the 80s will start to appear more frequently down across portions of coastal Texas, southern Texas, into Louisiana, and portions near the Gulf Coast and into Florida. So definitely seeing a lot more 70s and 80s, even as we go into early next week on Monday, November 6th. Looking at this weekend with the precipitation, same thing, high pressure in control, not too much to worry about. Some scattered showers here and there from the Ohio Valley back through the mid-Missouri Valley, but I promise you, probably not talking about much more than dampening the pavement or soil out there. Really not seeing a lot of rainfall. The more active weather per se will be across southwestern Canada there into British Columbia, Alberta, and some extent over here into portions of Saskatchewan, but especially down into the northwest United States and the Pacific Northwest will be pretty active both days this weekend, and that will extend into early next week as well, where a lot of the active weather in our jet stream will be across the northern tier of the United States and into southern Canada, whereas we have high pressure down to the south with that ridge and those warmer temperatures. And that will keep us dry as we start off the next work week into early next week. So overall, the total rainfall accumulation between now and a week from today, next Thursday on November 9th, you can see where the active weather will be and will not be. It's going to be very active across the Pacific Northwest. So we're adding up all the different storm systems we're seeing. Yeah, we could total up easily 6 to 8 inches or more of rainfall across portions of Seattle, down through Portland and into Northern California. And some of that will extend downstream through portions of Idaho, Montana, into Wyoming there, and then we'll start to lessen the totals as we go further to the east before picking them back up again around the northern Great Lakes into southeastern Canada there, into Ontario and Quebec, and then interior New England during that time frame. But notice to the south, just nothing for precipitation across the Central Plains, the Four Corners, the Southern Plains, or really the southeast anytime soon. And looking at this as we go into the second week of November, this is November 9th on Thursday through Wednesday, November 15th through the middle of the month, and we're really just not seeing a change much in the weather pattern. Some cooler than normal temperatures favored across New England and the Northeast, whereas we have that ridge locked in place across the Great Plains. We'll be seeing above normal temperatures with lots of 50s, 60s, and 70s out there again toward the middle of November. And just seeing these waves of precipitation moving through from time to time, exceptionally wet out there across the West Coast and the Pacific Northwest, drier conditions for a time, and then we'll pick them back up again as they revolve further east as we get into the East Coast of the United States there. So that's the weather pattern that we see coming up over the next 7 to 10 days. If you are new to the channel and have not yet subscribed and you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. It's absolutely free to do. I do appreciate that. that. Again, we are trying to get up to 55,000 subscribers by the end of this month. Also, help me out in pressing the like button, the thumbs up button. It helps to get all of this information passed along to more and more people. The more likes we get, the more information that we get passed along to more and more people. Also, if you are feeling generous enough, share this video. Press the share button down below. Share this video with friends, family, and on social media, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. I do appreciate that. Again, that's another way to help out in spreading this information out to more and more people. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their Thursday out there.